Okay, so today is another failure topic. That's up next. Hello everyone, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere Farm, and we're coming to you here today. It's the second week of June 2019. So we've got another failure. It seems like we're kind of on a roll with failures, so I think we're just going to stick with the theme. So today we're talking about a failure to survive. If Lori wants to slide that way, you're going to see the remnants of what once was a beautiful moringa tree. So this is what we have left. So this is the vestiges of our magnificent moringa. Now I know that it's dead because we're now in the 100 degrees, which is perfect weather for a moringa tree. We have all of our trees that have now come back from dormancy. Every single one of them has, except for this tree. Let's talk a little bit more detail of what I think may have happened. Moringa trees are really designed to thrive in desert environments. So they really enjoy hot temperatures. They really like it above 90 degrees, above 70 degrees at night. It's really where they thrive and grow the most productively. So the challenge that we have here in Whitman, outside of the city, is we get a good 5 to 7 degrees cooler than everybody does in Phoenix. So now we're still zone 9B like everybody else. However, that extra 5 or 6 degrees obviously really hurt us this year. So now we got down to some very, very cold temps, at least for us here in Arizona. Out here in Whitman, I was clocking temperatures at about 22 degrees. We hit that several nights in a row, and we hit it several times this winter. So we saw this tree was doing fine. We got down to 30 degrees. It was actually still holding on to leaves and branches without a problem. But once we got down into the 20s, this thing died immediately. Overnight, it was dead. So we trimmed it back, pruned it like we always do, which is essentially a pollarding, which is very typical pruning for this tree. But then we had those successive nights of low 20s. And I know that's what just did this tree in. Branches and bark that you can see is just peeling off. So you can see this is just dead. As I feel this, I mean, I can tell it's hollow. So underneath here, we've got all this cambium layer that's completely died back. The bark that just peels away here, I mean, that's just not what you should be able to do. You can see that's dead. We did have a little nub of growth that started here, but then actually really never took off. I'm thinking maybe it'll come back from the roots at some point in time, but really concerned that it may be just completely dead. So the question is, okay, for the future, because we're looking at our new 6 acres, and I had a lot of plans for moringa, says I'm kind of mulling this over, trying to figure out, okay, looking at what happened here, knowing that we're going to probably hit low 20s again, is this something I even want to deal with? So what I want to do is I want to bounce over to our nursery and talk through an idea that I have. So I'm over here in our nursery. So you can see blazing sun right now. However, I'm underneath our white mulberry tree. Now this white mulberry tree, it loses its leaves every winter. So there was no leaves here. However, I do know that there's some protection from frost. Now, one of the things that we did last year is we saved a lot of seeds from that tree that you were just looking at. One of those we went ahead and planted just to see if we can get germination. It germinated after about a week or so. So we had that over here as a little tiny start in here with the rest of our plant nursery. And guess what happened come spring? It died all the way back, all the way to the ground, but now that moringa tree that we planted last year is coming up, and it's a cool, really good looking tree at this point. Why did this survive and it's coming back and that one not survive? So obviously placement is key. In this case, we had protection from the actual frost settling on the tree or pot, so the frost wasn't settling, which I know is an issue. And when you look out over the pasture area, which is next to us here, you look out over the farm, when we were getting those hard frosts, you could clearly see there was no frost down here. So of course, we already know that keeping that frost off can help. So my thought is, how can we take a grown moringa tree when you have dozens of them potentially and keep it simple as far as what you can do? Okay, so now we're back over here at the Moringa stump. Now, this area here, so we've got a nice, beautiful nectarine tree that's right next to us here. However, loses its leaves just like the Moringa tree does. But this tree is designed to be dormant during the wintertime and come back in the spring. It's growing really, really well, but it's designed to do that. This is not. It's designed to grow continuously. What I have here is absolutely no protection at all as far as cold. Also, we're down in a lower area here, so we've got a little bit of a shallow wash that naturally came through this area, so it's a low spot, and cold has a tendency to kind of fall into those low spots. Still have wood chips around it, you can see that down here, so the roots themselves, I'm sure, are fine. However, the tree's not. What we probably need to consider, and I think what I'm going to try, is actually taking, once we get the tree to this size, is actually taking a burlap bag and going around the tree itself, and just not allowing that frost to settle on it. It'll keep it a little bit warmer up here in the stump area and actually maybe get it through the wintertime and back into spring. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, if that plan works, we can still do Moringa here. So just want to thank you for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Instagram and Facebook, we post content there you won't see here on the YouTube channel. Questions or comments in the comment section down below. And our Amazon page, I'll link that down in the description. A free, painless way to help support the channel here is just starting your Amazon shopping there. Doesn't matter what you buy, helps to support us here. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you. We good? No, there's a bee right there. It's unnerving, isn't it? So we're here in the... Oh my goodness, I love you guys, but the bees are freaking me out. They are all over the place in here. Okay, we like bees, Well, at least it's a good seat.